Hello and welcome back to Down the Track. Today we'll be reviewing Qualifier 2. We have our two finalists now, the Mumbai Indians and the Delhi Capitals. Unfortunately, my co-host Abdulaziz can't make it. It's not that he's sad, like he's proud of his team Sunrisers, but he just had some work today. He'll be back with us tomorrow. But I have my brother, Mr. Yusuf Ismail. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, and I'm actually positive. I'm not too disappointed. There was a bit of disappointment at the end, as we'll talk about, but overall, I'm pretty satisfied. I'm doing
Yeah,
good.
yeah. I mean, game started with Delhi on the front foot. A strategic move from Ponting, I feel, sending Stoinis up the order, and it paid off. Like I think he hit a couple of overs for like 20 plus runs. One over went for 20 runs, I think, and
Yep.
it gave Delhi that start they needed. And then Dhawan capitalized from that start, and he batted beautifully till the end and made sure they got a really good score.
Yeah, definitely. I think that change definitely had an impact, but I think also if you want to be a bit nitpicky, you can see that the dropped catch of Stoinis, like the first 2.3 overs of the innings, Hyderabad bowled really well. They were about 12 for no loss. And, we thought, okay, similar start to the Bangalore innings. And then Jason Holder, they actually brought in Jason Holder at short mid on. And
For the
the
trap, yeah.
plan, yeah, for the trap, and almost worked. It was a difficult catch. Perhaps considering his length and size, he should have caught it. But after that, I think there was just some mental change that happened, and Stoinis just started hitting. Like I think in that same over he started, and it was in the end it was a masterstroke by Ricky Ponting and the management to send him up.
Yeah, I mean that catch was a bit like sometimes they stick, sometimes they don't. But overall, the fielding from Sunrisers was poor. That's probably what was the difference in the end in the game. I saw Rashid Khan giving overthrows and then dropping a catch. Like it's unlike him. He's a really good fielder. So they were just a bit poor in the field, and that's probably where they lost the game. Because apart from that, I think the teams were on par in terms of performances. Sunrisers had, Delhi had Dhawan and Stoinis. Sunrisers had Williamson and Abdul Samad with the bat. I think Sunrisers actually did a really good job to take it that close. At one stage, I thought it was going to be a 50, 60 run win. So they took it really close at one stage, and they could have actually won it from a certain point, but then Williamson got out.
Do
But
you
yeah,
do you think do you think it's like a chicken and the egg problem where it's like, okay, they fielded poorly, but if they had gotten the catch early on, they might not have. It would have been the similar bowling performance, or do you think it's irrelevant? Do you think basically the drop catch of Stoinis was that important?
no, no, no. Because even if Stoinis got out, they still had batting, and I felt it was a good wicket. 180, 190 was a good score, but it wasn't impossible score to chase because it was a really good wicket. You saw Sunrisers were how much, like 50 for three, and they still took it to 170. That shows the wicket was really good. Yes, Williamson was superb, but Dew came in as well. Dew was there throughout the game. So I mean, I think 180, 190. I wouldn't say it was a match winning score, but yes, it was above par score, but it was chaseable. It wasn't unchaseable. I think 200,
Oh yeah.
220 would have been match winning, but I think it was still chaseable. And they're just a couple of sixes away. I think if even after Williamson got out, if Abdul Samad stayed there and hit another boundary here and there, it would have been difficult. I mean, it would have been a different ball game altogether. But yes, I think Delhi batted really well.
Yeah.
The best thing with them, they attacked today. Like even if they lost this game, they would have taken heart because they attacked well. It was a good performance with the bat. Even with the ball, they attacked. They went for runs. Rabada went for runs. Stoinis went for runs. Nokia went for runs, but they got wickets. Rabada 3 wickets in one over, second last over. Well, that's why he's one of the best bowlers in the world. Unbelievable at the death. Stoinis, I think today with the ball and bat was just outstanding, and Dhawan showed his
Yeah.
experience as well. I felt Dhawan's innings and his role in the team is very important because he provide like not only is he providing that kind of solidity, but he's also striking at a good rate. So I think his performance was key as well for Delhi.
Yeah, I think he overtook Stoinis in strike rate at some point when they're both batting. And yeah, just to kind of elaborate on what you're saying, I think not having Prithvi Shaw worked out for them today. I think he's been a bit too inconsistent. And Delhi, I think, if I'm not mistaken, they were last place in terms of opening partnership for the first wicket. Their average first wicket partnership was the lowest in the IPL this year, and that change was needed, and it brought impetus to the innings. And once they got going after the second and third over, you're right, they just everyone contributed something. Right, Hetmeyer 42 of 22, the 178 of 50. He's been like maybe he hasn't been as talked about on the national level in the last year or so, but this year for Delhi, he's been amazing. considering his experience. He's been able to keep up the pace. He's striking at over 150. So I think overall Delhi fought back, bounced back this at the right time to
Yeah.
face Bombay. Like they were also going through kind of like a slump, but this is the match where they made active changes. And I think Ponting really got to his boys, and he was like, "We have to sort this out. This is not acceptable." So unfortunately for Hyderabad, like Delhi kind of not peaked, but they played much better.
Yeah,
So the
but
first,
that's the thing. If Delhi play to potential, they'll beat anybody in this tournament. I think they can beat Mumbai as well, but only if they play till to their potential. Like they haven't played to their potential. When you need someone or the other to contribute, when nobody contributes, then of course it's going to be an issue. But I think they do have a solid team. And today we saw 3, 4, 5 players stepping up. And yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, Rabada, he didn't go for that many runs. I thought he did, but yeah, he didn't go for that many runs. And I think those 3 wickets. It was
Nokia was
crucial.
expensive. Yeah.
Yeah, no, Nokia was expensive, and so was Ashwin. I think Ashwin got hit, but that's the thing. Even though they got hit, they have these other bowlers who can come and contribute and pick up wickets. So there's someone the other who will step up for them. And same with the bat. Like Iyer and Punt have not played to potential, but then you have Dhawan, you have Stoinis, you have Hetmeyer. So they need at least 2 or 3 players to step up. The problem with Delhi is there are games where the no batsman steps up. That's where
Yeah.
they get screwed, kind of. But when 2 or 3 players put their hand up, then yeah. And sorry, you were talking about the. I don't think Stoinis' catch was the match changing, but fielding in general was the match turning point. We saw Nadeem also drop a
Four
catch.
catches.
Yeah,
Four catches.
the overthrows also, like some unnecessary runs given there. You saw Delhi were saved a few boundaries as well, like diving around. So I think that's where the game was won and lost. Apart from that, I
Yeah,
think
because there's only 17 runs at the end. So if the Hyderabad had got the catches, okay, even if they had dropped the catches, but like that overthrow cost them 6 runs. There was some sloppy fielding, and I think even the running, apart from Warner in the when Hyderabad bat, there's a little bit of lack of impetus in the runs. Like I noticed the commentators talking about, oh, that's poor. That should have been two, for example. So
yeah.
anyway, yeah. So I think, like you said, I don't know if it was a above par. I thought it was a very competitive score considering it was a
Yeah,
semifinal.
it was
The
definitely
board
above par.
pressure.
It was
Yeah.
definitely above par, but it wasn't an impossible chase.
No, 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 no. You could tell 23 of 10. So obviously Hyderabad were
Yeah.
still in the game.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I would say they would have been favorites at that time, like just like if like Williamson and Abdul Samad both stayed. But yeah,
That's the
like
Rabada effect.
yeah, but yeah, Rabada was unbelievable. You have to take into account Delhi's death bowling. So like even 23 of 10, like if it was another team, it would have probably been chaseable. But with Delhi, you never cross the line because they have amazing death bowlers, and if they play to potential, this is what they can do. Yeah, and hats off to them. Like I think Ponting got it right. He got the strategies right. They knew what they had certain plans. They knew that they shouldn't over attack Rashid Khan. They didn't. They picked the other bowlers. They picked Nadeem. They picked Holder, and they played really well. I feel. Sunrise on the other hand, I think they should be really proud. They had like 5, 6 injuries. Unbelievable performances. Despite that, they played like 5 knockout games until this one. This was the 6th one, I think, and they
Yeah.
won every single one of them. Because the
And we
other
almost
three,
won this. They
yeah.
almost won this.
So I think you can't really blame the team for anything. Yes, the fielding was poor and everything, but you have to understand also there's like 4 players sitting like injured on the bench. So they'll come back strong. I think David Warner should be very proud. I think they've set the platform, and if they can do a couple of get a couple of players here and there in the auction just to strengthen, like just to replace injured players. And if they have like the full squad next season, I think they'll be even better. And they've shown that it doesn't matter if you get injured or not. If you have like a proper system, a proper strategy, and you have a captain like Warner, you can go the distance. Like, it doesn't really matter what it is. You just have to have the belief. And Williamson almost pulled it off.
Yeah, definitely. And okay, let's talk about this innings. Williamson, back-to-back 50s. He led them to victory in the last match. Someone was saying that, should we bring in Mohammad Nabi instead of Williamson? He has more, he can bowl, he can bat, he's more versatile. But I think Williamson has proven that while maybe he wasn't as needed in the few games before today and the previous match, he's invaluable to this team. Like after Warner, he hits the team sheet for me. Even above Rashid Khan to a certain extent. Obviously, they're 3+1 slot that you can rotate, but he's that important to me. Like he
Yeah.
proved it today.
Ideally, if there was no foreign rule, Sunrisers probably have the best team because they have some amazing high quality overseas players on the bench. Bairstow, Nabi, even Fabian Allen. These guys can get into any 11. So that's one thing. That foreign rule is kind of drawback for them.
Mm.
But I think another positive for Sunrisers is the youngsters. Today we saw the Samad, he smashed it. It was a wonderful innings.
Did you
Um,
notice how the ball like goes off his bat? Like it's
yeah,
just like it's like pooh, like it flies. It's faster than you'd ever think could go off
Yeah,
the bat. You know?
yeah, and he was hitting the likes of Rabada and Nokia, that's unbelievable. So I think they have a lot of potential. They have some under 19 players like Abdul youngsters like Abdul Samad. They have Priyam Garg also looked good today until he got out. They
Yeah.
have Abhishek Sharma, so they have players to build on. Yes, they didn't perform like crazy, but this is it's the first season. They'll keep learning from this, and they perform. I felt Abdul Samad's innings today could have just been match winning at the end. So he'll take a lot from this going into the next year, and they'll work on this, and I think they have a good future, especially with this kind of foreign unit and these Indian youngsters. I think it's a very good balance, to be honest. And
Okay.
yeah, they should.
I didn't think that at the beginning of the season because we weren't playing well. But do you think that we need to? Sorry, I keep saying we because we support Hyderabad, but that's another point. Do you think that Hyderabad needs another player or two, or no? This is the squad. Like, do we need backup somewhere? Like maybe an Indian batsman, another Indian batsman of Pandey's level, or another Indian bowler? Because our bowling is really good. Like, if Bhuvi's fit, it's really good. So,
Yeah,
what do you think about that?
ideally you need cover, but if you look at it like from the Indian batsmen, they're not bad batsmen. I think it's just that they're young and they're learning. I think they should stick to them and keep giving chances. And if you have somebody like Williamson in the middle order guiding them, I think they will improve. It's a risk. Like this year, they could have easily come eighth. Because their youngsters weren't performing, but there was a game where they did perform. They won you the game against Chennai, I think. So it's a risk, but it's a risk worth taking because in the future it'll benefit you. I feel, and that's how they play. They play high risk cricket, and that high risk cricket got them to the playoffs.
Yeah.
If they were a bit more cautious and made sure they have like a good core and everything like that, they might have not made it. So that's it. Every team will have weaknesses and strengths, but I feel it's the leadership and it's the strategies that you take into the game that's very important. And I think Warner is the perfect guy to lead this kind of team.
Definitely. And I think if they manage to keep everyone fit and healthy and they retain the squad, I think there's potential to go forward. Like the team has had a chance to gel together and like, be a unit, right? And it's like I think Warner mentioned it too, like Natarajan, like he's like the find of the IPL for Hyderabad. I think his death bowling has been really good. And what do you think about his contribution to the team?
Yeah, unbelievable. He took me by surprise. I felt that I didn't think he was that capable. He did get hit throughout this tournament. There was a couple of games where because he got hit, we lost the game. But his plan was absolutely correct. Go on the block or go on the ball. When you saw even today, the last over
Yeah.
just went for 6 runs, and that could have been if they won the game, that would have been the over which turned it. Right, only going for 6 runs. So I felt that he stuck to his plans well despite everything, and these guys will continue to grow. Yes, you can make one or two changes here and there. You still have a good core Indian group. I feel there's Manish Pandey, there is Vijay Shankar, along with the youngsters. Now it depends. Will they step up? Manish Pandey did have a better season. I felt yes, he could have been a bit more consistent, but he had his 50s. He looked good. If they can become a bit more consistent, these two, Vijay Shankar and Manish Pandey, I think this team will be very solid. You can make one or two transfers here and there, but apart from that, I think they have a good unit. And
Yeah,
so do Delhi. I think Delhi is unbelievable as well, to mind you, like their squad.
yeah, we'll round up with the Sunrisers with this. I think that overall, this is a successful campaign more than last year. They punched above their weight. They had a lot of injuries that went against them of who we thought were key players at that point, but they just managed to make it work by bringing in the changes. And Jason Holder, while he had a very bad day at the office today, like he is definitely a key reason why they qualified and got to third place and finished third in the competition, like being eliminated at this point. So I think punched above their weight. No one expected them to get this far. And considering they were ahead of Bangalore, they beat them to get rid of them. Calcutta and Rajasthan, with all their talent, it's a testament to the what's going on. And maybe it's a legacy of Tom Moody, who set up a really good platform, like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Looking ahead, so what's Delhi's plan? Because on paper, when they fire, they can take out Bombay as well because they have the bowlers to combat Bombay's batting in the final, and their batsmen when they fire, it's they can score 200. So just a brief I guess, like strategy for Delhi going forward, even after this tournament?
I think they should just attack on in the finals. They should send Stoinis up the order and make him go after the bowling. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. That's fine. It's a risk worth taking because Bolt and Bumrah are high quality bowlers. It won't be easy to hit them. You have to be a bit smarter, but at the same time, you should attack them because that's how you're going to put them under pressure. You have the talent. You have players to go after the bowling. Even if Stoinis gets out, you have more batsmen, so you shouldn't be worried about anything. Play how Bombay did in the first game. They lost Rohit Sharma, they lost Dekok, they lost Surya Kumar after making a 50, but then they kept attacking with Pandya and Kishan. So they need to do the same thing. If they have Bumrah and Bolt, Delhi have Rabada and Nokia. So there's quality bowling on both sides, quality batsmen on both sides. So I feel both teams should go for the attack and take risks in the final. It might not be that straightforward because it's a final. There will be a bit more cautious, but I just feel I'm Delhi's captain, I wouldn't want, like if I'm Shreyas Iyer, I saw what happened in the qualifier. There's no point being cautious against his team. They're a high quality team. Just attack them.
All right, and we're going to discuss this in more detail tomorrow in a proper preview of that match. But I
Yeah.
think Delhi is well positioned. I think 1 and 2 is justified. How the final? I think this is like not an unexpected final at the end of the day. So yeah, we'll discuss this further tomorrow. Preview the final in depth,
Yeah.
and
Your players
we
of the match
ah um
from both sides.
from both sides. Okay, so for Delhi, I will give it. It's easy to give it to Stoinis, but I'll just be a contrarian and say Shikhar Dhawan because he's been, while not exactly Mr. Consistent, maybe like to the level of KL Rahul. He's without him, they would not be this far in.
He's
So
won some important games, big games. He's won.
yeah, so I'm gonna say Dhawan for Delhi, and for Hyderabad, the Kane Anna, man, he's a legend. Like he doesn't seem like he's gonna whack you all over the place, but then he gets those boundaries when it's required, exactly when it's needed. So Kane Williamson for Hyderabad for me.
Yeah, no, definitely. I agree. I probably go Stoinis just because I felt that his at the top what he did that changed the momentum of the game when they were going like 10, 12 runs per over, and his wickets also were very important. I feel so. Whenever they were getting going, he came and took a wicket. So I feel Stoinis, and
Hyderabad.
yeah. For Hyderabad, Williamson for sure. Williamson, Abdul Samad. I think they brought them into the game with the bat,
Yeah,
and it was almost there. So close, kind of heartbreaking, but I think unbelievable. They batted really well.
yeah. Abdul Samad, like I think this is the second time he had a proper outing with the bat, and if he plays like this, he has a lot of potential
Yeah,
with
yeah.
his
There's a,
strength.
there's a lot of potential there. They just need now to stick to these youngsters, give them chances, let them fail, and then succeed. That's how it's gonna happen.
Great. Do you have anything else for today?
No, I think that's good. Thank you so much for joining me, and hope to see you in the finals. And take care and enjoy the last game of the IPL. We're almost done.
I can't believe it. It's near the end, and given COVID, maybe we'll have another IPL very soon after this one. So a lot of
Yeah,
cricket to look forward to. Thanks for having me today.
for sure. Thank you. Take care. Have a good night.
You too. Bye.
Bye.